Hey, welcome back. I hope that all went well for you. I've cut down to the crusts slide, step 5.1, and I just want to show you a couple things that I did on here. I sort of split the text up rather than being one big old text block. So if you look in the timeline, you can see it looks pretty similar to everything else we've had. The title comes in right away. The next one, the many people have grown up believing, comes in. And then I put the they are correct coming in with the crusts cut off sandwich. So these two things arrive together. And then I put one more little comment at the end. So rather than one big chunk of text at one time, we sort of phase things in as they need to. And so in order to make that work out a little bit better, I extended the timeline out to 12. I think we talked about how you can just grab the timeline down here and just grab the end of it and then just move it if you ever want to make your slides longer or shorter. So I just stretched it out to 12. So our next thing to do is add the quiz. I actually took this exact same slide and added one sort of intro to the quiz slide down below. I just literally copied it, replaced the text from the quiz thing, took out all the extra items we don't need. So this just kind of introduces the quiz, because the quiz slides on their own don't really give you much of an introduction. They just kind of jump in. And if you're cool with that, then you're cool with that. But if you want a little sort of a heads up, like, hey, we're going into the quiz, you need to kind of create that slide ahead of time. So to insert a quiz slide, we're going to go up to the Insert menu. And then rather than new slide, we're going to skip down to a question slide, Command Q. Oh, sorry, looks like it's Shift Q. So that brings up this that lets you choose what sort of slide you want to go with. Our sample is going to be a true or false, so I'm going to select this one. I'd like you to do at least one other test slide just to try it out. The multiple choice is pretty easy. And I also dug the matching, so that's kind of a cool thing to do as well. Once you decide what you want, it is going to be graded. You can actually, if you're going to do multiple things, you can select more of these at a time and it just creates them. But for now, I'm just going to do the one. And we're going to hit OK. So it creates that slide, and yeah, so here's what it looks like. Pretty hideous by default. So you end up having to do kind of a lot of reformatting for things to work out. I'm going to grab all this and just kind of move this down, because it's probably going to end up being down here. This review area, I really don't even know what it does, so I'm just going to slide it off. We don't really care about that. And then this guy we're going to put down here eventually too. So the first thing I'm going to do is copy this exact same title in the exact same place from everywhere else. I'm just going to do a Command C from here, go back to the new frame and do a paste, Command V. I'm going to type the question. Actually, let's do this. We'll say this is going to be a true-false quiz. And then we'll type the question here. We're going to need a ton more space. Let's stretch this out. Maybe make this bigger. So I'm going to just go down and copy the question and then paste it up into here. All right. So it's the quiz, it's true-false, here's the question, here's the true-false. Here's where you tell it what the answer is. So whichever button you click on becomes the correct answer, and then that kind of determines what happens when they hit the submit button. All these buttons, I don't think we really need any of these. I'm just going to trash this, trash this, trash this. We do need a submit, but I hate this submit. So I'm going to go up into the properties, change this from a text button to an image button like we've been using. And then, yeah, check it out. So right here is the same style we use for all our next buttons, except it's a submit. So let's use that. And then I don't like it down here. I'm going to bump this guy over kind of where all the action is. Let's put it down here. All right, so now let's format all this stuff. This is all pretty hideous. I'm going to change all of these to Euro style so they fit, actually. I'll do this one, and then you guys, I'll come back, and we'll cut to the chase once it's all done. 44 is probably extensive. Anyway, man, you don't need to see me do this. I'll catch you guys in a second.